Welcome back, America. Listen, everybody's got a dream, but you know, sometimes we need a little help identifying it. And you want to test it, make sure it doesn't turn into a nightmare. So with us right now is best-selling author and leadership expert, my friend John Maxwell, whose latest book is Put Your Dream to the Test, 10 questions to help you see it and seize it. Good stuff, of course. Everyone calling in tonight is getting a free copy of this. It's good material. You do not want to miss it. I don't bring people on here that are just doing book tours and that kind of junk. We only bring the best of the best on here. Most of the time, we don't even have a guest, unless we've got somebody that's primo like this. John, hey. Welcome back, brother. It's good to have you.
Good to see you again, Dave. Wonderful to be with you and all of the viewers.
Well, we're glad to have you, man. Good stuff. Put your dream to the test. So give me a quick synopsis. Give me a thumbnail sketch. Why do I want to read this? What's in here?
Dave, do you remember when you went to school in the middle of the week, your teacher would get up and say, now, on Friday, we're going to have a test. And I just want to share with you some of the questions that are going to be on the test, and I want to get you ready. If you'll read these pages, and if you'll know these answers for these questions, you're going to do real good on the test. And comes Friday, sure enough, the questions she talked about, the pages you needed to read, they're all out in front of you. What that teacher was really trying to do was set you up for success. He knew the test was coming on Friday, and they also knew what the questions were going to be, so they said, we want you on the front end to get you prepared so that you can do well when you take the test. Well, this book asks 10 questions that any person who wants to pursue their dream should ask themselves, and I'm the teacher. And I'm pretty well putting this book in people's hands, and I'm saying, you're going to be tested in your dream. Dreams aren't free. And so therefore, since you're going to be tested, let me give you the questions that you need to know and get those answers so that as you pursue your dream, you're not taken by surprise. You're not blindsided. You're saying, oh, you know, John said this was going to come up. And you can know the questions before you ever start the test journey. And it just is a phenomenal concept. And it's just been out for a very short time, but the response is already huge because people tell me many times that they go into their dream totally unprepared. That, you know, I've got a dream and I'm not sure how it's going to evolve, and I'm not sure exactly even what it is, but I sure have this dream. And it's really kind of like a crapshoot. This really kind of helps a person streamline their thinking and their strategy so that they really can pursue that dream effectively.
You know, it's almost with some people like dreams are in the clouds, and so you're walking through the mist and you really don't know where the edge of the cliff is.
Absolutely.
And so I always think about, and I always tell people in leadership when I'm talking about dreaming, dreaming is good, but you can't stop there. You've got to, you know, you've got to move on to the other stuff. You know, I've got a 23-year-old daughter, and if she were to come home dating a young man and say he's a dreamer, I'm going, oh crap, they're going to be living in my basement, you know.
Absolutely.
I don't want him to just be a dreamer.
He'll be worthless. He's not going to do anything.
I want him to go past dreaming and go into actually executing.
Absolutely.
And that's what you're talking about,
yes.
is taking us through those steps. So why do so many people have a dream, but then they never reach it? They get on their deathbed and they're saying, gosh, you know, I should have written that book. I should have started that business. I should have, I should have, I could have, I would have, all through our lives.
Well, first of all, Dave, dreams give people hope. I can tell you that dreams give people hope. That's the positive side. And nothing probably has people frustrated or disappointed more than dreams. Dreams give hope, and yet most people in that hope get highly disappointed. It's kind of like you define disappointment as the gap between expectation and reality. That's what disappointment is. And in dreams, you have this expectation, but you often get reality. And it's that gap between them that causes them to be disappointed. So when I wrote the book, I began to ask myself, how can I help them bridge the gap? How can I help them to get from reality to expectation? If we can close that gap, there are going to be a lot more people that have hope and a lot more people that won't be disappointed. And so that's kind of where I started heading, and I came up with the conclusion, which really is like the thesis of the book, Dave, that the more valid reasons a person has to achieve their dream, the higher the odds are that they will. And if I have only one valid reason, let's say I have a dream, and I only have one real good reason to do this, because the dream journey is very difficult and it's very steep and there's just a cost questions and all kind of issues. If I only have one reason to kind of hang on to that dream, it's probable that I'll quit and never achieve it. But let's say I have 7 reasons. I mean, they're valid reasons For me to receive and achieve this dream, now, I mean, I'll get some stuff knocked out of me, and I might lay aside a couple of them, but it's hard to lay aside 7 good, solid reasons. And so the whole issue is most people don't achieve their dream. I don't think because it's not necessarily a valid dream. They don't achieve their dream because they have never discovered the right reasons to achieve that dream. And the valid reasons that we have, which increases the odds of achieving the dream, I turned into the 10 questions. So when I started this book, I said, how many valid reasons are there to achieve a dream? And I just went wild. I just kept writing and writing like you would in a kind of a creative sense. I got 33. And then I began to reduce those valid reasons down to 10. And when I got the 10 valid reasons for achieving a dream, I put those reasons in the form of questions. And that's, so the questions substantiate the thesis. The thesis is the more valid reasons you have to achieve your dream, the higher the odds are that you will.
What was the first question?
The ownership question. And that's a huge question. The ownership question simply asks, is my dream really my dream?
Mama wanted me to be a lawyer. That one won't cut it. Yeah.
You got it. And Dave, think about it. When we start dreaming, it is almost always someone else's dream. Because we start dreaming as children. And what do we get as children? Mom and Dad coming down saying, hey, I think you could do this really well. I'd like for you to become this. So our dreams in the beginning are borrowed. They're given to us with somebody else. My parents, I can still remember, Dave, when I was 6 years old, Mom and Dad sitting down with me and saying they thought I was musically gifted and that they wanted me to take piano lessons. Well, I had no clue whether I was musically gifted, but I was 6 years old, and if my parents wanted me to take piano lessons, no problem. And so I took piano lessons, and I'd walk down a half a block on our street to Wayne Reno's house, and I would start the little C scale out, and probably within the first month, Wayne Reno realized I was not musically gifted. Yeah. Hey, and after my first recital, you know, you go to that piano recital, after that first recital, and I heard Elaine Mosley, my neighbor, play a piano piece much harder than mine, and she hadn't been taking piano long as I had, I realized I didn't have that gift. But you see, my parents never caught on. You see, they thought I had that gift, you follow me? So here I am, I'm practicing away, and they're plotting, and they're all excited. And from the 1st grade to the 5th grade, I took piano lessons. Was I any good? No. Was I gifted? Not at all. But it was a dream that I borrowed. It was given to me. Now, here's what happens with our dreams. Since in the beginning, our dreams are usually borrowed and given to us by someone else, that becomes very natural to us. So as we grow older, it doesn't seem strange to have a borrowed dream.
Isn't that, as an adult, isn't that kind of lazy, though, mentally, emotionally lazy?
I think it is, but it still is, it's acceptable.
And so when I'm a salesperson, I get a quota, and they call that a goal.
Well, that's
somebody else's dream.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, this happens all the time. This happens all the time. And we don't feel it odd because that's how we begin dreaming. So that's why I think adults that are my age, your age, they still haven't owned a dream. And they're not owning a dream because they've always been used to, now maybe it's a boss, maybe it's a spouse, you know, maybe it's a good friend, that they're kind of living someone else's dream. And if you live someone else's dream, it's not your dream. And then you're not going to put the cost into it. You're not, I mean, if you rent a car, nobody rents a car and goes out and washes and waxes it. I mean, they don't rent a car and say, "Oh man, I got to buff this baby." You know what I'm saying? And take it back to the rental place.
If you save for 10 years and go pay cash for one, you will do that every Sunday.
You'll do that every Sunday.
Oh my gosh!
But if you borrow one, you got one rented. You know, you just don't put time, effort, energy in a rented dream. So the problem with the ownership question is, if I don't own my dream, I'm never going to put in it what I need to put in it. I'm just going to try to get by with it. And owning a dream takes me from a believer in the dream to a buyer. And when you're a buyer, you'll bet on yourself. When you're a buyer, you'll eliminate excuses. When it's truly your dream, you won't wait on somebody else to bet on you or to put a stake in the game. You'll be the first one to put a stake in the game. You know, in your business, Dave, you can tell the person between a person that owns the dream of financially getting out of debt and all that stuff versus the person who would like to get financially out of debt.
Well, we look for them on the team, too. We want people that own the dream on the team. We don't want somebody coming in looking for a job.
Absolutely.
Just collecting a check and seeing how little they can get by with. Talk about why, and this is a common thread through most great writers. I see it over and over again. I've read these all my life. This always comes up. Why do your dreams need to benefit other people?
Let me put it this way. If I have a dream and no one is benefiting from it, it's a very small dream. It's impossible. It's impossible to, first of all, have a big dream with nobody on the team. In fact, what I often say is if you have a big dream and a bad team, you have a nightmare. It's just not a good thing. And so big dreams absolutely count on good people to come around them. One, in my book, The Laws of Teamwork, that I wrote a few years ago, was the law of significance, which says one is too small of a number to achieve greatness. You just, I mean, if I told you, Dave, that, you know, when I'm done with the show today, I'm going to go over to Nepal, have a few days, got my sneakers, thought I'd climb Mount Everest, you know, probably be down by Friday, Saturday, get back home for the first part of the next week. You'd look at me and say, John, you're an idiot. You're just an idiot. Well, you look at that. You think that sometimes anyway.
No.
We're friends. You'd say, John, you're an absolute idiot. You can't just go over there and put on your sneakers and go to the top of Mount Everest. Nobody's ever gone to the top of Mount Everest by themselves. If you're going to get top of Mount Everest, you have to have a team. I mean, you just don't do it by yourself. Well, in the area of a dream, anything that is going to be substantial and anything that's going to be significant, you have to have a team around you. And the better the dream, in fact, when people share about their dream, they say, oh, I have this dream. The first question I ask when they're done telling me their dream is, what kind of a team do you have around you? Because if you have a 10 dream and a 2 team, you're not going to get a 10 dream.
No.
You know what you're going to get? You're going to get a 2 dream. The dream goes to the level of the team. And the team doesn't go to the level of the dream. Because a lot of times we think, well, let the dream inspire. And so we have this incredible dream out here. And this is just a dream for you. And, you know, how many times have I done this? I bet you've done it. Well, I've got this great vision, and here's what we're going to do. And you think everybody else is just going to rise to the, and, you know, some of them are down there having picnic. And they're not moving at all. And so a long time I learned that what you need to do is you get a great dream, but don't expect the great dream to drive the team up to the top. You have to have a great team that has that personal commitment and self-discipline themselves to improve themselves to be able to reach that dream.
It transfers over. That's
Absolutely.
Stuff. The book is Put Your Dream to the Test. Everybody's getting a copy of it tonight. It's good stuff. 10 questions to help you see your dream and seize your dream. This guy's on top of it. John Maxwell, one of the top leadership writers in America today. And you can buy it on our website at daveramsey.com at a discounted rate, of course, or you can be sure to check out John's personal website, johnmaxwell.com. He does a lot of leadership speaking around America, one of the top teachers on the subject, and this is his latest and greatest work. Good stuff. John, thank you for being with us, brother.
Thanks, Dave. It's always good to be with you.
Great
Blessings,
to have you.
Man.
Always goes too fast.
Yeah, it does.
We'll be right back with your calls and your emails. Stay with us. You're watching The Dave Ramsey Show on the Fox Business Network.